Good evening, everyone. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Copies of the agenda are also posted on the city's website and Linden TV for the public. This meeting is now called to order. Mr. Clerk, can you please conduct a prayer and flag salute?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon each member of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in the front of the room with your name and address. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chamber to do so. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Javik.
Present.
Caldwell.
Present.
Mohammed.
Present.
Rivas.
Excused.
Roman.
Present.
Strano.
Here.
Blaine.
Who's coming late?
Medina.
Excused.
Hudak. Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Here. Okay, can we have approval of the public session minutes of March 21st, 2023, please?
Council President, I move that the regular meeting minutes of March 21st, 2023 be approved and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Roman.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Hudak.
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Yes. Okay, we're now going to start our presentations. Our first presentation this evening is recognizing Kathy Colgan for her dedicated service to the city of Linden. I'd like to ask Mayor Armstead, Fire Chief Haskell, and Captain Williams to please come down to the podium. Okay, Kathy, would you like to come on?
Come on up, Kathy.
I'm going to talk a little bit first, you know what I mean? Well, good evening, everybody. Most of you all don't know what really happens when we have a disaster in town or some unforeseen event. We have to deal with an agency in the government called FEMA. And FEMA sometimes will reimburse the city for dollars if our infrastructure is damaged, or even sometimes if homes are damaged, we can solicit to the federal government for assistance or aid. That is a very arduous and lengthy process, okay? But here in Linden, we were fortunate enough to have a person here who's been with us for 47 years and 8 months to be exact, right? Kathy Colgan. And she did what I would say, it's not just a good job, not just a great job, but an outstanding job. If we could, I don't even have the dollar amount that she's recouped for our city, but I could tell you right now, had she not done what she's done, the taxpayers would have seen some significant increases in their tax bills, just for us to be able to maintain the town and repair that infrastructure. So, Kathy, I just want to thank you for all you've done for our city. You are worth your weight in gold. You hear me? You know, we appreciate everything you've done for us. And you will be missed. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. A guy who really appreciates saving the city's dollars, you will be missed, okay? Okay, so, but we have a proclamation here, and I'm going to read it. Probably covers a little bit of stuff I said already. It says, whereas Kathy Coughlin was born July 14th, 1957, and is a lifetime Linden resident and graduated from Linden High School June 1975. And whereas Kathy Coughlin met Don Coughlin in May 1974, and they married June 17th, 1978. And whereas Kathy Coughlin is the mother of two devoted children, Courtney and James. And whereas Kathy Coughlin started working for the City of Linden Fire Prevention Bureau, May 27th, 1975, as a clerk, and was there to the day she retired, 47 years, 8 months later, as a supervisor clerk. And whereas Kathy Coughlin was responsible for coordinating our educational programs with the schools, and whereas Kathy Coughlin was responsible for annual fire inspection compliance reports to the state of New Jersey, and whereas Kathy Coughlin managed the fire department permit and inspection documentation, and whereas Kathy Coughlin took great pride participating for 45 years in our Linden Fire Department Fire Prevention Night, where she promoted fire safety to the youth of Linden. And whereas Kathy Coughlin was the City of Linden's OEM Secretary and Public Information Officer, and whereas Kathy Coughlin contributed to creating the Linden City Emergency Operations Plan and ensured it was updated every 3 years. And whereas Kathy Coughlin worked on the Union County Multi-Jurisdictional All Hazards Mitigation Plan that is required for the City of Linden to receive federal grant funding from several agencies. And whereas Kathy Coughlin, as a public information officer, she was responsible for sending out information alerts to the governing body, police, fire, and the citizens of Linden during all hours of the day and night. And whereas Kathy Coughlin organized, held meetings, and distributed important FEMA information to help educate and provide program assistance to the citizens of the City of Linden after devastating events like Superstorm Sandy, hurricanes, floods, and COVID. And whereas Kathy Coughlin was responsible for applying and managing all FEMA claims for the City of Linden, resulting in over $4 million being awarded to Linden to reimburse the city for their expenses during catastrophic events. Now therefore be proclaimed that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden in the state of New Jersey, on the 18th day of April 2023, do hereby proclaim that Kathy Coughlin has been an invaluable employee for the City of Linden, and that she receives due recognition and commendation for her superior dedication to serving the community and making a positive difference in the lives of the citizens of Linden. And it is with sincerest wishes for much happiness on this occasion of her retirement. And once again, Kathy, I want to thank you. If I couldn't thank you 1,000 times, it wouldn't be enough. I don't know if you've done anything to say something. I really did.
Good evening, everyone. Bill Haskell, Chief of the Linden Fire Department. Also have Captain Abdul Williams, Captain here in the Linden Police Department, filling in for our Police Chief, Dave Hart, who couldn't make it tonight as he's at an OEM conference. He congratulates you and sends you his best. Real quick, you heard all the wonderful, great things that Kathy has done. There's a saying that if you love what you do, that you'll never work a day in your life, and that's what goes with Kathy. When you do something for 47 years and 8 months, you love what you do. She loves serving the citizens of Linden. She loves public safety. She basically wore 3 hats here. She worked in the Linden Fire Department for 47 years. She also was the Secretary and Public Information Officer for OEM, who our Commissioner Dave Hart, our police chief, she worked very close with him, and as well as doing all the FEMA claims for the city of Linden when it came to Ida and Sandy and COVID. She recouped all that money. So tremendous amount of work she did, great work. She loves serving, giving back to the public, and on behalf of the Linden Police Department, the Fire Department, and most importantly OEM, we'd like to present you with this plaque and congratulate you on all your years of service. Here. You going to come in front of it? Sure.
Okay.
Kathy, I think it speaks volumes. You have in the back row, OEM came out this evening in support of you. So thank you again, also the OEM. for coming out. Okay, our next presentation will be for the Linden Youth Soccer Association Mighty Cubs U12 Girls. Mayor Armstead.
All right. Well, like I said last month, one of the things that we do here in Linden is we promote our youth. We all know that involvement in youth programs tends to keep our children from drifting off into other areas that they don't need to be involved in. So I think in Linden, we have some of the best programs that I think that money can offer. Unfortunately, I think some of the programs now require parental financial assistance also. And not only their assistance, we need their support of these programs. But we want to thank you parents for signing your children up. And we're so proud of our young ladies who are champions. You know what I mean? And I tell you, I have 3 daughters myself. And when you do something great, not that I don't love my sons and love when they do something great, but the girls, they just have a special place in Daddy's heart. So we really appreciate all you've done, and come on up and be rewarded. We're going to call up all your names. Okay, so the first person that we have is Maya Vaca. Hope I said it right. You stand up here. We're going to take one big picture, okay? Samaya Sud. Here you go, Samaya. We have Elizabeth Camerata. Here you go, congratulations. Natalie Pasternak. Here you go, Natalie. Emily Cutt. Emily Molina.
She's not here this evening.
She didn't make it? Okay. Isabella Perez. There we go. Imani Melendez. Congratulations. Milani Velarde. There you go. Joania Paul. Congratulations. Clara Mosby. Congratulations. Juliana D. Toronto. I got it right. Congrats. That was a tough one. Gianna Cedeno. So let me just say this. When we were coming up, that's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, soccer was really not even a big sport, but it has grown tremendously, and it is a joy to see all the young people who are involved in it now. Now, I see number 13. Was she part of the team also? Oh, how did I make a mistake? Okay, come on up, training squad. Come on up. I don't know if we have a, what's your name? Brooklyn? Yeah. Last name?
Raver.
She's Brooklyn Raver. So we're going to say, Brooklyn's in the house. Okay? So we don't have an award for it, but you're part of the team too. We believe in team effort here in Linden. So I don't know, maybe, can you get us all? Or you got us all? Okay. If you want, if you want, we can all go down to the steps also. What do you think?
Okay. If you'll wait a few minutes, take your seats, and then the mayor can meet you outside. Okay? Then you could take them home for the evening, parents, okay? Congratulations to the parents and the coaches also, on behalf of the council. Okay, we have one last proclamation for this evening, honoring the memory of Henry Mack Redding, Mayor, Councilwoman Caldwell, and Councilman Roman. You guys? All right. Okay. Councilwoman Caldwell. You gonna go down? Huh? Usually the mayor.
So anyway, last month, we lost a very important person in town here. His name is Henry Mack Redding. I'm born and raised here in Linden, so I've known Henry Mack since the 60s. I've known his family since as long as I can remember. They're members of the Fourth Ward. Some even live down Linden, where when the Armsteads first came to Linden, we started out down there. So Henry was never short on words. He always came to our meetings. He was very entertaining, to say the least. And he succumbed to a very terrible car accident a few weeks ago, and he's no longer with us. So in honor of his memory, we have prepared a proclamation, just so you guys would maybe better understand who he was. So it reads, whereas Henry Mack Redding entered this world on February 21st, 1951 in Richmond, Georgia, son of the late Meola Thornton Redding and Jimmy Redding, whereas Henry Mack Redding was educated in the Richmond public school system until 1964. At the age of 13, his family relocated to Linden, New Jersey. He continued his education in the Linden public school system, attending Seoul Junior High School and then graduating from Linden High School. Whereas Henry Mack Redding, as he was affectionately known, worked at Smith Cadillac dealership before becoming the superintendent of the Academy of Integrity House of Newark, New Jersey. For the last 25 years, he worked with G.G. Woody Funeral Home, LLC in Roselle, and was known for his, as he called it, stepping the deceased to the gates of heaven. While with Woody, he took loving care of his dad, George G. Woody Jr., and became the right-hand man to George's daughter, Leslie. Handy with his hands, he also referred to himself as Mr. Fix-It. Whereas Henry Mack Redding was a former member of the Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church in Roselle, New Jersey, where he enjoyed with the junior choir. He would later become a member of the White Rock Baptist Church in Linden, New Jersey. And for any of you guys who know anything about the churches here, all these churches are intertwined, whether it's Mount Moriah, First Baptist, Bethlehem, or White Rock. They're all connected. The one person would be attending, and the pastor from that, one of the members would become a pastor in another church. So everything in Linden here was all intertwined. But whereas Henry Mack Redding was a member of the Democratic Party in Linden, where he was known as the people, as he would attend the council meetings and speak on behalf of the people of Linden. He was a loving, supporting, and caring man who'll never be forgotten. Whereas Henry Mack Redding departed this life on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at UMDNJ, University Hospital of Newark, New Jersey, at the age of 72. He was predeceased by his parents, Meola and Jimmy Redding, three brothers, Elsie Redding, Leroy Redding, and Preston Redding, and two sisters, Ludi Rozier and Annie Redding. Whereas Henry Mack Redding leaves to cherish fond memories, his daughter, Leas Marie Black, three grandchildren, Ismail Abdul Wahid, Atia Abdul Walid, and Aliyah Fontaine, one sister, Rose McGee of Linden, New Jersey, one brother, James Carroll of Birmingham, Alabama, and a host of nieces, nephews, and other relatives and friends. Whereas Henry Mack Redding was known as Pop Pop Squeak, he will never be forgotten and always will be loved. He was a strong man, and he looked at things as I think I can. Now therefore be proclaimed that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden, in the state of New Jersey, on this 18th day of April 2023, do hereby proclaim that Henry Mack Redding lived a colorful life full of love, friendship, service to others, especially helping his neighbors, and he leaves behind his loving family and friends who know they've been blessed with wonderful memories, hearts filled with love, and that he will always be in their thoughts, looking down on them, still watching, and protecting them from heaven as a guardian angel. And is with heartfelt condolences we honor Henry Mack Redding. And it's signed by myself, Derek Armstead, the Mayor of Linden. And for those of you who never made any of those council meetings when Henry Mack was here, you missed something. Let me tell you, because we had one heck of a show here when Henry was here. God bless you, Henry. I hope may God smile upon you and his family. Okay.
Okay, to our soccer families, before you go out to take a picture with the mayor, I just want to mention Brooklyn. As the mayor said, we are a team, and our clerk's office is arranging through the mayor's office to get you also a proclamation, so you will receive one. Okay?
We can officially say that Brooklyn's in the house.
Yep. Okay, so if the soccer children would like to go out to the front steps with the mayor? Let's make it quick. All right, and parents, don't feel obligated to have to come back to the meeting. We know the children have school tomorrow evening, so thank you again. Yeah. Yes. Not yet. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're going to move on with ordinance number 6713.
Council President,
Yes,
I'd like to make a motion
we have to have it read,
Oh, she has- oh.
okay?
An ordinance adopting an amended redevelopment plan entitled Redevelopment Block 309, Lots 1, 2, 3, 21, and 22, DeWitt Terrace and St. George's Avenue pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 48-1 at sequence.
Okay. Councilwoman Orman?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to table 67-13 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Orman?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman? Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6716.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, Administration of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 7, Policies and Procedures, is hereby amended and supplemented. Delete Section 2-69.7 recreation fees in its entirety. Add new section 2-69.7.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
I move to close the hearing on ordinance 6716 and adopt the second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Hudak? Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6717.
Bond ordinance amending Bond Ordinance 6643, finally adopted by the City Council of the City of Linden on July 19th, 2022.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 67-17, adopted, and ask for a second, please. Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6718, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $59,400 for the acquisition of a Ford F-250 sports utility vehicle with plow and power liftgate for the Division of Transportation and Properties, and authorizing the issuance of $56,430 bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Madam President, I move to close the public hearing ordinance 6718, move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6719.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $110,000 for acquisition of a passenger van for the Division of Vehicle Maintenance, and authorizing the issuance of $104,500 bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move that ordinance 6719 hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6720, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $137,500 for the acquisition of firefighting equipment and personal protective equipment for the fire department, and authorizing the issuance of $130,625 bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I move to close the public hearing of ordinance number 6720. Move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6721, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $140,800 for the acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the Division of Public Works and authorizing the issuance of $133,760 bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move ordinance 6721 hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6722, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $715,000 for various park improvements for the Department of Public Parks and Recreation, and authorizing the issuance of $617,500 bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the cost.
Okay. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move to close the hearing on 6722 and ask it to be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6723, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $858,000 for the acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the police department and authorizing the issuance of $815,100 bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 67-23, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6724, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33, handicap parking regulations, 7-33.1A, handicap parking on street. Add 130 Cedar Avenue, 1 space, 404 Helen Street, 1 space, 632 Middlesex Street, 1 space, 620 Pierce Avenue, 1 space, 1521 Winans Avenue, 1 space.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 67-24, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6725, please.
An ordinance amending the redevelopment plan for Block 254, lots 1 through 10, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 1040A:12A-1 at sequence.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 67-25, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
No.
I'm sorry?
No. Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6726, please.
An ordinance amending Chapter 2-25 entitled Department of Community Services by the City Council of the City of Linden.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I would like to make a motion to close the hearing on 67-26 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6727, please.
An ordinance amending the City of Linden Code of Ordinances to repeal Chapter 26 Flood Damage Prevention, Article 1, Flood Damage Prevention, to adopt a new Chapter 26 Flood Damage Prevention, Article 1, Floodplain Management Regulations, to adopt flood hazard maps, to designate a floodplain administrator, and providing for severability and an effective date.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
President, I'd like to close the hearing on ordinance 6728 and request a second.
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 Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Hold on, I
That
think
was
we,
number 27.
Oh, sorry,
What did we say?
I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
but the.
Yeah.
Did we announce 28?
He made a motion for...
Council President, can I move the ordinance
Yes,
for
Councilor.
the hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted, and request a second, and
On-
recount on the roll call?
Okay, on,
I need a
put the
second.
number on it,
67,
please.
27.
I said 67,
Okay, I didn't hear
27.
you.
I'm sorry. I need a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6728.
An ordinance authorizing the execution of a redevelopment and sale agreement between Lionheart Development LLC and the City of Linden regarding the property located at 940 South Park Avenue, Block 496, Lot 3, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A, colon 12A-1 at sequence.
Can I get it?
Can we have a,
Council President, could we have a
Yes.
motion to table 67-28, and I ask for a second?
You gonna table it?
It says motion,
we're going to motion to table.
Yeah, second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6729, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic shall be and the same is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33, Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street, add 116 East Morris Avenue, one space.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move to introduce ordinance 6729, and I ask for a second. Let's move to adopt, sorry. Council President asked to close the hearing on 67-27 and move 67-29 and ask for a second. Thank you, Ralph.
Is there a second?
Can we have a second, please?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman? Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. We'll now move on to consent agenda items. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. We'll have no separate discussion on these items unless a council member so requests. We have items number 1 through 7. Does any council member wish to remove an item? Okay, seeing none, could we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move we adopt the consent agenda as for second.
Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman? Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak? Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now go on to comments from members of the governing body. Okay. I will start off this evening. First, I'd like to congratulate our retirees. From the Finance Department, we have Brenda Salas. And from Public Works Department, we have a Public Works Supervisor, Phil Palma. So we wish them best in their retirement. Okay. I also wanted to mention, I attended the Bayway Community Advisory Panel CAP meeting last week, along with our Police Chief Hart and our Fire Chief Hasko. They reported that their turnaround is now complete. You might be asking, what is a turnaround? The refinery does a turnaround each year, which is basically a maintenance checkup. All equipment is shut down and several hundred contractors come onto the site and do maintenance checkups on pipes, valves, etc. It is basically like getting a tune-up on your car. Some of the rumbling and flaring of the torches you heard 2 weeks ago was the refinery starting their equipment back up. Okay. We're also in the process with the refinery and our public safety division of planning a public safety meeting for the city of Linden. We did this several years ago prior to COVID, but we will be having a meeting with members of the public. So right now, it's in the planning stage with our, as I mentioned, our public safety department, the fire departments from the refinery, some representatives from all the companies are planning to attend, so we will have that information for you shortly. Also mentioned at that meeting, Infinium, part of the Bay Ray Refinery Companies, also reported that they will be doing a cleanup initiative along Route 1 as a special Earth Day project, cleaning up some of the debris from passing cars on the outer curb line and grass line of the property on Route 1, so we thank them from that. The Mayor's Youth Commission will be having a color run this weekend, this Saturday, April 23rd, from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the School Number 1 parking lot, which is located at 720 Northwood Avenue. All proceeds will be towards the scholarships granted to our Linden students. So anyone from your families can come. They can walk or run with them. They'll have face painting, food trucks, and incredible music. You can register online, and the cost is $32 if you do it prior to the day's event. The day of, the cost will be $35. This is a great event, and all the proceeds will go towards the scholarships, again, which are very needed. Okay, this information will be available also on our city website, so you can go there for further information on that. Before I turn the microphone over to our councilwoman of the First Ward, I just want to mention 2023 has been a rough year for Linden. Council would like to send its deepest condolences to the families of Henry Redding Mack, our former Board of Education member Dawn Viviano, and Catherine Riley, the mother-in-law of Union County surrogate Christopher Hudak, and she was also a retired paraprofessional from School Number 4. I would also personally like to send my condolences to the Boglis family, who formerly lived in the 8th Ward. Bill Bobolus was a baseball coach for PAL for many years and influenced the lives of many of our youth. May they all rest in peace. If anyone has any questions, they can give me a call. I'm available. Any assistance you may need, my number is 908-494-0880, or my email address is on the city's website. Okay, Councilwoman Orman, I'll now turn the microphone over to you.
Great. Thank you, Council President. At this time, I would like to introduce the 2023 City of Linden municipal budget. The budget represents a total of $120,196,649.10 in expenditures for the year 2023. The Finance Committee will continue to work further to reduce expenses wherever possible. The Finance Committee has worked with every department head in keeping the expenditures to a minimum. The Finance Committee is proud to deliver another budget at a very minimal increase for the 6th consecutive year in the municipality with the library portion of your tax rate. Based on the average assessed home value of $133,140, this year's increase is $49.71 for the year. Please be advised that anyone interested in obtaining a copy of the 2023 municipal budget, copies will be available in the city clerk's office from 9 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday. If you're unable to pick up a copy, you may contact the city clerk's office at 908-474-8452, and a copy will be sent to you. It is also available on the city's website, www.linden-nj.gov, for viewing at the municipal library. Mr. Bodak.
Yes, Mr. Boda, could you please read the municipal budget notice?
Municipal budget of the City of Linden, County of Union for the fiscal year 2023. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenue and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2023. Be it further resolved that said budget to be published in the Union County Local Source in the issue of April 27, 2023. The governing body of the City of Linden does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2023. Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was approved by the council members of the City of Linden, County of Union on April 18, 2023. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at the City of Linden on May 16, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m., at which time and place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2023 may be presented by the taxpayers or other interested persons.
Okay, could we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the budget and ask for a second, please.
Second,
Introduce the budget.
Introduce the budget and ask for a second, please.
and I second it.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak? Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Continue, Councilwoman Ormond.
Okay, now the remaining of my budget review and finance committee report. Approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $1,546,693.61. Bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and the finance chairwoman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. We are in receipt of the investment made by the city treasurer for the month of March at the rate of 3.1%. I move for approval and ask for a second, please.
Second,
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman? Strano?
Abstain.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina? Hudak? Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Okay, the Division of Transportation and Properties. I hereby submit the monthly finance report from the Division of Transportation and Parking for the month of March 2023. This report includes the collection of on- and off-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits. The Trenton side collections total $895. New York side collections, $1,072. Railroad credit card transactions, $36,275.53. Railroad permits, $228. Online railroad permits, $14,544. Parking meter collections, $13,690.50. And merchant permits, $187.50, for a grand total of $66,800. $892.53. This is submitted by Tyrone L. Gibbons, the Traffic Maintenance Supervisor. Now, I'd also just like to mention that last month was Women's History Month, and the Linden Cultural and Heritage Committee had their annual Women's Tea. We take the time to honor very distinguished women in the city of Linden, or those who have affected or have played a part of some role in education, employment, and just the overall well-being and betterment of our city. This year, we honored Rebecca Titoli, Kelly Koziel, Barbara Brady, Danny Arlene Armstead, and Sissy Laura Lynn Sakarak. So once again, congratulations, ladies, for being outstanding women in our community. Just for a little brief note in the first ward, the weather is breaking, it's beautiful outside, grass is, once again, growing exponentially. So we're just asking, please take care of your lawns, please cut them. We don't want the Board of Health having to give you a gentle reminder, but it's very important that we keep our community well-groomed and clean. And then also, but last but not least, the warm weather, once again, is here, and I'm kindly asking for the residents or the people driving through our community, slow down, especially on those streets that are long streets that don't have stop signs going one way, specifically Curtis Street, Gibbon Street. Whether you notice or not, we have families that no longer have 2.5 children. We have families moving our community with 10, 11 kids, and it's very, very difficult to monitor every child, but it's everyone's part to make sure, number one, that you do monitor your children, but it's also up to you to know that this is our town and our children, and we should proceed with caution as we're driving through the town. It may not be your child playing today, but tomorrow it may be your child or your grandchild out in the street playing. So please, please slow down, be careful. And third, your dogs. I'm growing very, very impatient. I don't own a dog, but I'm cleaning up my share of dog poop on lawns. It's not fair. Please clean up behind your pets. That ends my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'd just like to add to that, our parks also are not the places for dogs to be. There are supposed to be no dogs in the park, and I'm hearing a lot of complaints citywide about people taking their dogs into the park, and you have to clean up after your dogs. Do not let them in the parks either. That's not the place for them. We have dog parks in the city of Linden if you'd like to go. Okay? Councilman Javik,
Yes, Council President.
go ahead, please.
Thank you. As chairman of the Fire Committee, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected the following monies during the month of March 2023, a total of $12,228.98. Regarding the Linden Fire Department ambulance billing, the amount of $79,545.91 for March 2023 have been added to the total deposits for 2023, totaling $219,691.71. Good evening, everybody. As the weather gets nicer, I've already had calls on loud music and excessive speeding in our ward, as our first ward councilwoman just mentioned. The speeding complaints are occurring on our cut-through streets from Stiles Street to Wood Ave and vice versa. Problem streets are West Henry Street, West Elm Street, and Knopf Street, and the police department will be monitoring these streets for offenders. I want to thank everyone for their patience with dealing with some of our streets. We are currently filling potholes while we await the repairs to be done by the Gas and Water Company. Also, Lexington Park and Dog Park is scheduled to be graded to eliminate the ponding that's taken place when it rains. This will be taking place maybe in the next couple of weeks, as I'm hearing. Our Junior Fire Academy is scheduled from June 26th to June 30th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and is available to Linden students graduating 7th and 8th grades. You will learn about the Linden Fire Department and explore a future career in firefighting, including basic training, physical fitness, department operations, fire science, hazmat, first aid, and CPR. Demonstrations will include engine and ladder truck operations, rope rescue, hazmat, and car extraction. The deadline for applications is Friday, May 5th at 3 p.m. Applications are available on the City of Linden website or at Linden Fire Headquarters at 302 Southwood Avenue, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. to 3 p.m. Completed applications must be dropped off at that location also. As mentioned last month, the Board of Health, our Board of Health is hosting a free rabies vaccination clinics for dogs and cats this May. We have expanded our days and hours this year to make the clinics more convenient for everyone. They will be held on Monday, May 1st, 3 to 5 p.m. at Fire Station Number 3, 1205 Elizabeth Avenue. Wednesday, May 10th, 5 to 8 p.m. at Fire Station Number 1, 302 Southwood Avenue. Saturday, May 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Fire Station Number 2, 302 West St. George's Avenue. The clerk's office will also have staff on hand at each of the clinics to process both new and renewal dog licenses. And one final note, the Health Department has posted their annual year 2022 to the City of Linden's website. Also, at this time, I would like to acknowledge the difference, I'd like to acknowledge that the difference that two boards are making in our city, the Zoning Board and the Planning Board. They truly are moving Linden forward, and they don't get enough credit, so it's time to acknowledge them. I can be reached at 908-494-4608 or email me at bjavick@linden-newjersey.gov. On Facebook, Second Ward Councilman Barry E. Javick. And as always, additional information can be found on our City of Linden website. Council President, end of report.
Thank you, Councilman Javick. Councilwoman Caldwell?
Thank you, Council President. As the Chair of Code and Construction, the department has issued 349 permits, processed 42 certificates, generated $88,079 in fees for the month of March of 2023. They have new upcoming projects. Linden is a happening town. 651 North Stiles Street at Superfresh, the parking lot. There's going to be a new Dunkin' Donuts. 750 West Edgar Road in Legacy Square. There's going to be a Holiday Inn Express. And I just found out they're going to have an inside pool. That's going to be cool. 830 West Edgar Road, Legacy Square, Blue Sunday Restaurant under plan review. 860 West Edgar Road, Legacy Square, Diamond Braces under plan review. 1030 West Edgar Road, Legacy Square, AFC Urgent Care. We have another urgent care center. That's great. 1030 West Edgar Road, Legacy Square, Aspen Dental is open now. And I just want to say thank you, Mark Bertacco, for working so hard. Your department is very busy. You know, a lot of people call up, when will our permits be ready? There's so many moving parts, and they're working really hard. And I just want you to know I appreciate you. We all appreciate you. As for IT has been reorganized from public safety to community services. So I'm looking forward to all the positive outcomes because results matter, as Jerry Bishop always says. I just want to say to my neighbors, please slow down in the 3rd Ward. They're speeding down Maple Avenue. They're speeding down Curtis Street. They're speeding down Clark Street. I know Roselle Street is a county road, but they're speeding down. And when I'm walking around talking to my neighbors, one of my neighbors said he had 2 little dogs. He said, you see this dog? It's been ran over twice on Clark Street. I'm on the traffic committee. I've been asking for a temporary speed hump in front of PAL, and hopefully before my 3rd term, maybe I'll get it, for public safety, because we really care. I really care about our community. And I also want to say the reason I'm wearing this bright orange shirt is in memory for Henry Mack Redding. He was more just than someone that just came to the meeting. His brother was married to my aunt. So he was a distant family member. And he would always say, I didn't say it, but the people said it. And he would call me up and advise me, and he was truthful, and he was witty in some of his words, and he is truly going to be missed. Unfortunately, he passed away from a car accident and his memory will live on in the archives of Linden, and I'm happy that we were able to do a proclamation for him. And I also want to let everyone know I will be on vacation April 20th to April 25th. It's not that I'm ignoring you, I just need a break. My eye has been twitching. And I will have Council President Michelle Yamakaitis, if you need something, she'll basically be able to you can reach out to her in my absence. And just please slow down. And if you need me, you know you can always call me 908-531-0676 or text me. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
You're welcome.
Councilman Mohammed.
Good evening, Council President, and good evening, citizens. My dear friends and constituents of the Fourth Ward, it is so nice to see the flowers blooming. We had a very nice winter. I'm glad to see it go. And everyone outside doing yard work. I'm delighted to report that the funds have been allocated to finish our newly renovated Martin Luther King Park. The color coding of both the new tennis court and the basketball courts will take place shortly now that favorable weather is upon us. Just waiting for the contractor to schedule our arrival. So also, it brings me great joy to announce the total renovation of the bathroom facility, and also to say to you, just as the mayor said, results matters. And thanks to our Transportation and Property Division, one of the Fourth Ward's own, the great Theron Dix, did the work for that renovation. I'll be seeing you around the neighborhood as spring continues. I walk through the neighborhoods. Fire up those grills, and I see you. Maybe you can give me some grilled vegetables. Look forward to you, and God bless you. I can be reached at 908-463-4843. But in closing, I've been getting a lot of complaints about noise and loud vehicles. And we will continue to forward those reports to the best police department in the city in the United States of America, the Linden Police Department, where they will be expeditiously taken care of. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Roman.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Council President. I may go over in just a minute. I have a report here from Ms. Joan Turbert regarding dog licenses. The City of Linden 2023 dog licenses are available for purchase starting April 1st. All dogs 6 months and older are required by ordinance to have a dog license. To obtain the license, a valid rabies vaccination receipt is required. Licenses can be obtained in person at the city clerk's office or online at linden-nj.gov/dogs. That's www.linden-nj.gov/dogs. The fees are fees are $13 and $10 for spayed and neutered, $13 for unspayed, unneutered. Proof is also required. Any questions, please contact the city clerk's licensing office, Joan Turbot, 908-474-8406. And I'm not sure if the health department has done it yet, but they do a really good clinic at the fire department every year, so just look out for that. I don't have that information at this time. Spring is always a busy time in the 6th Ward. There are many city properties that need maintenance early in the year, or it can quickly get out of hand. I just want to thank the Department of Community Services, Jerry, Dave Martinez, and everyone else who's involved in helping to keep these areas clean and neat, because before, years ago, they were overgrown havens with bugs and mosquitoes and animals, and it made the residents' lives miserable, and they didn't want to go outside, and it's really gotten a lot better, and that is a testament to our DPW and our community services working in those areas and prioritizing them. Last week, I met with County Commissioner Joe Bodek, who's right behind me, and our new Director of Parks and Recreation in the county, and the new Director of Parks Maintenance. We met at Wheeler Park to discuss the spring bloom and future maintenance to Wheeler Park, as it is our only county park. In Linden, we walked the entire park. We discussed maintenance, mostly the removal of graffiti, dead trees that are hanging over properties, and in some other trouble areas that overgrow as well. The thing about Wheeler, just like the rest of the 6th Ward, is if you don't get it if you don't get the banks in the spring, it gets out of hand real quick, and it's a trouble the entire summer, and the guys just can't get to it, or the guys and girls just can't get to it at that point. So the graffiti's already gone. Thank you, Joe, Commissioner Bodak. And I've already seen them cutting down some of the trees and some of the grass already, so it's great. Quick turnaround from them. I appreciate it. We're looking to do a 6th Ward cleanup in Wheeler Park, so we can get some of the trash that's in the river, and we've been successful at it in years past, so I want to continue to do that. We're going to do that in May. And right now, the 6th Ward garage sale is scheduled for the 2nd week of June. I may have a conflict, depending on whether or not my wife is going to hold out on our, or expecting a baby girl that week as well. So I don't know if we can move it up or move it back, but I'll work on that this month. I just want to give my heartfelt condolences to, actually, I'll skip to the last. I'll save that for last. Moores Creek meeting. We're meeting on Thursday in the Moores Creek near the refinery. Appreciate Joe Kroback for putting that together with the refinery to discuss with Princeton Hydro, who's our consultant, to try to see if we can figure out how to stop that flooding back there. Obviously, as you know, but Princeton Hydro's present, and they're our consultant, and that is going to be the main topic of discussion. And I'm excited at the opportunity, because once Princeton Hydro does this study for us, then we have to figure out a way to pay for it. But there's a possibility of getting these issues remedied for these homes that are suffering from flooding from the Moores Creek permanently. And that is something that I know everyone up here and everyone down there wants to see happen. Smith and Hampton. We have been doing concrete work on Smith and Hampton. This is CDBG funds from the county. I'm very appreciative of the hard work that the engineering department has done with this project. I know there are a lot of growing pains and a lot of issues. If you have issues on Smith Street, and I've seen them with my own eyes, I've seen several of them, please email me or anyone in the mayor's office. Rebecca Totoli used to live on Smith Street. She's going to try to rectify that problem for you, or the mayor or any other council person. But please email us. We won't know about it if you don't put it on paper. And we are going to try to get that fixed for you. Hampton Street looks great. It is the first time in the history of Hampton Street that it actually has curbs. And I'm so excited to see that. That was one of the first things I ever wanted done when I first started walking the 6th Ward. I wanted to see curbs on that street. Council President, one more minute. Redevelopment is continuing on the Hampton Smith empty lots back there. Please. There's not too much movement yet, but it's moving along. Main work on Linden Avenue. They're cutting up Linden Avenue, Coolidge. They're going to be cutting up Pleasant, Smith, Hampton over the next couple of years to install new mains. They will replace all of that. Summer employment. If you are looking for employment, please reach out to me. We have summer employment available in the city. Helen, I just want to thank you for coming to our wedding. I know you didn't have to, and you showed up, and I really appreciate your gift and your card. It meant a lot to me and Samantha. And I just want to give my heartfelt condolences to the Riley and Hudak clan, the Beviano family, and the Mack family. One last thing, Council President, Mr. Mack was a very good friend of mine. A few years ago, it was June 2019, I was wondering why I was even up here. There was a lot of fighting going on, and I'm going to call them during the wars of the past. However, Mr. Mack, he stood right there, and he said right to me, he perked me up. He said, John, the people told me to tell you to keep on keeping on. One that quits never wins, and winners never quit. And I always remembered that, so God bless you, Mr. Mack. Over the years, Mr. Mack needed our help at some points, and we got him housing, not only in the 6th Ward at some points, but also into the towers, where he lived out the remainder of his days with dignity. And he always was a person that tried to return dignity to this room when there was a lacking of it, and he will always be remembered for that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Hey, Councilman Strato?
Thank you, Council President. I have the personnel report that needs to be read out loud and then approved. Number one, in the police department, we have the approval of the unpaid internship for Angelica Bobek from June 1st, 2023 to September 1st of 2023, and that will be subject to successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. B is accepting the resignation in good standing of Zuli Parker, Clerk 1, effective April 28th of 2023. C is approving the temporary appointment of Saudia Shaw, Clerk 1, effective May 1st of 2023, at the rate of $24.17 per hour, pending the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. D is approving the posting for the position of Clerk 1 full-time at the salary range between $34,548 to $61,470. I don't know if that's a typo or not, but that seems awfully high. Is that factual, Alan? Is Alan here? Yeah, is that the right number? A Clerk 1 can make $61,470?
That's the minimum.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was that high. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 2, in Recreation Division, accepting the resignation in good standing of Ron Martin's Recreation Leader, Omnibus Driver, effective March 28th of 2023. B is approval of the seasonal list on file in the clerk's office. 4, in the Department of Community Services, approving the posting for heating and air conditioning HVAC mechanic tier 2 with a salary range of $18 to $44.72 per hour, and that's open to all New Jersey residents. B is approving the termination of Brian Bowser, HVAC mechanic, effective January 1st of 2023. C is approving the termination of Robert Dillion, laborer, effective February 16th of 2023. D is approving the appointment of Shamil McLeod as a truck driver tier 2 at the annual rate of $21 per hour, effective May 8, 2023, and that's subject to successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. E is approving the appointment of John Montoya as a truck driver tier 2 at the annual rate of $21 per hour, effective May 8, 2023, subject to successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. F is approving the appointment of Theus Awkward as mechanic helper tier 2 at the annual rate of $18 per hour, effective May 8, 2023, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. G is accepting the resignation in good standing of Kelly Hernandez, Clerk 1, effective April 21st of 2023. H is approval of seasonal list on the file in the clerk's office. 5 is in the Board of Health, accepting the resignation in good standing for Tracy James, Clerk 1, effective April 14th of 2023. B is approving the unpaid internship for Hina Falak from May 1st, 2023 to July 1st of 2023, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. C is approving the unpaid internship for Star Opera, a Grand Canyon University nursing student, from May 1st, 2023 to July 7th of 2023, and that's subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. D is approving the posting of a Clerk 1 full-time at the salary range of $34,548 to $61,470. 6 is in the Treasury Department, approving the posting of a Clerk 1 at the salary range of $38,548 to $61,470. 7 is the Division of Personnel, A, FMLA, approval of the requested FMLA and NJFLA on file in the Personnel Division. I move for approval, request of second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you. In the 7th Ward, today we had a pretty good turnout. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Williams Pipeline Company in Tremley Point for putting together a volunteer group of their employees in an effort to contribute something of value to the city of Linden. They brought about a dozen employees, and some even brought their children to clean out the rain gardens in Tremley. The group of volunteers was headed up and organized by Kevin Yount of Williams Pipeline. Joe Kroback and Stephanie, I can't remember Stephanie's last name, from the engineering department joined us, along with Shane Goulet and others from the DPW. And I also want to shout out the Recreation Department for the use of the 7th Ward Rec Building as a place to muster and to put our plan together. The Williams Company provided a light breakfast, pizza for lunch for all the workers, besides providing equipment and PPE. I can tell you that the cleanup was sorely needed. The rain gardens were really looking shabby, and the cleanup was greatly appreciated. To me, it looks 100% better. It's still early spring, but as soon as everything starts greening up, we'll really see the results of all the hard work that was put in today. It was 5 hours of really hard labor, and we in Tremley Point really appreciate and thank the Williams Pipeline Company. And that's it for my report for today.
Thank you, Councilman Strano. Councilman Blaine?
Thank you, Council President. I may need an extra minute. As Chairman of Parks and Recreation, I just want to let the people of Linden know that we are in excellent hands. We have a phenomenal director, new director, who is engaging our children, engaging our seniors, and welcoming everyone back outside with a plethora of activities for us to get out and enjoy. Had a very successful Easter egg hunt. Over 500 people attended. One of the things I like, the guy's bringing innovative and creative ways to bring us together. He's actually brought the teens together for a night out, a dance party. Over 80 to 100 kids came out, no violence, was very peaceful. They enjoyed themselves and was able to go home safe and sound. So those are the type of things that he's bringing to the table, and I encourage him to continue to do those. He's also put together, established a step team that's now competing throughout the state. We have Take Kids to Park Day coming up May 20th from 12 to 5. Make sure you come out. There's arts and entertainment. First concert on the plaza will be June 2nd. Hook a Kid on Fishing, Thursday, May 4th through August the 10th, every Thursday. So make sure you come out. There's a lot of activities going on. One of the things that he has promised me, and I've known him all our lives because we grew up together. He has brought money to renovate St. Mark's that is so much needed. And we look forward to working with him and seeing that project through. Also, we have recruiting for summer seasonal jobs. Those of you who are looking to get some summer employment, please reach out to me, 908-487-5645. And one last note on the activities that's going on. Please sign your kids up for soccer, baseball, basketball. I mean, this guy has a lot of things going on. I'm excited to work with him. So should you. Again, having had the privilege and honor to work on the Finance Committee, I got to commend the mayor for number of years of zero tax increase. I've owned my home for 17 years in the city of Linden, so I have a very vested interest in making sure that we keep our taxes stabilized and our community healthy and vibrant. So Mayor and all the people that serve on the Finance Committee, kudos, because we are doing a fantastic job, and we hope to continue that. In the 8th Ward, we got paving going on throughout the streets. So hopefully we'll get more paving done. Unfortunately, Chandler Avenue won't get paved until almost fall, but all the other side streets are getting done. So be patient. They're getting around to all of them. I know people are complaining about Baltimore Avenue. I've already talked to the proper authorities. I assure you that we're going to get that in proper maintenance rotations, especially as we go throughout the summer, because it's not the residents, it's people just driving down the street, just tossing their litter right out the window. We've also, as you've heard on council and other wards, we have the same problem in the 8th Ward. People are just flying throughout the streets. We just put a digital monitoring device right on Chandler Avenue, just to kind of curb some of the speeding over there. We're going to talk about, hopefully, and I pray, I really pray that we can get some speed bumps on Chandler and Cranford, because people are just flying down those streets. So hopefully that happens soon. And last but not least, well, I got a few more. I reached out to Code and Construction on the businesses on Elizabeth Avenue. I know they're new, and we look to have businesses come into our city. That's what keeps our taxes low, but they have to be good neighbors. So I've spoken to Code and Construction about them being neighborly, monitoring their garbage and so on, and we'll stay on top of that. So everyone that's there, please know that we're on top of it. Last night, for those of you who don't know, I'm an accountant, so this is a very rough season for me. Last night, I snapped at a fellow councilman, and I did it in public, so I want to publicly apologize to Councilman Strano. My behavior was really unbeknownst, out of character for me.
Totally accepted and totally unnecessary to
Well,
apologize.
that's okay. I'm a man of character. I'm a man of character, and you don't see that type. I'm from the old school. If I could do it in public, I can apologize in public.
Thank you.
Okay. And two more things, just so everyone knows, we have a community meeting in Jersey Lanes this Thursday at 7 p.m. We'll be talking about all the redevelopment in our ward and all the events and listening to all your concerns. So we hope to see everyone. That's this Thursday, Jersey Lanes, 30 Park Avenue. And I too am wearing an orange shirt in honor of Henry Mack. Sometimes we live this life and we don't know the treasures we have right in front of us until they're gone. So in the great words of Henry Mack, we love you, and I didn't say it. The people said it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilwoman Hudak?
Yes. I recently attended the Union County Fire and EMS Academy, and I'd just like to acknowledge that they are very special humans. There's a great deal of education that goes into their learning before they go into a fire, and a large amount of them are products of Linden Public Schools and of Linden, and they bleed orange. And I'd like to acknowledge that. So there's a lot of education that goes into being a firefighter, and I don't think many of us realize how much learning goes into that. And to those who celebrate, I hope the month of Ramadan brought you much peace and blessings, and I wish you all a very happy holiday and an Eid Mubarak. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor?
Yes, Council President, thank you so much. I'll be very brief this evening. I would like to, first of all, thank the Finance Committee for introducing a budget that only raises the taxes of $49.70 per household, assessed at $135,000. You know, it has been the policy, or at least our desire, this council, to try to keep taxes to a minimal. In fact, we had been successful for so many years in not raising them, and we took a tremendous amount of pride in that. Unfortunately, we got hit by the state this year with our state health benefits plan, and we were stuck in it for at least 6 months, and that kind of hurt us. However, we worked very hard and to come up with a number of $49.70. We're since opted out. So I think going forward next year, we won't be under the same type of duress. But I want to personally thank the Board of Education. If ever there was a time that two governing entities worked together, it was this year. They received additional state aid, and they were able to take that state aid and reduce the tax levy by $2 million in the town of Linden, which I think is tremendous. They heard our cry that we were in trouble financially, and they listened. I just think that that type of spirit should be embodied everywhere in government, whether you're a Board of Education, a city council, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whatever your philosophy. I think that, you know, the most important thing that we could do is work together to ensure that the taxpayers in Linden can afford to stay in their homes. And their actions certainly allowed that to happen this year. Again, to reduce the tax levy by $2 million is tremendous. It certainly offsets the $49.70 per month that the homeowners, I'm sorry, the $49.70 per year that the homeowner is going to have to incur. So I really appreciate their efforts. Also, good news, once again, we made history here in Linden. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to your personnel report, but we hired a young lady by the name of Shamil McLeod. She'll be the first female truck driver in the history of Linden. I think we should be commended for that. So I think once again, we're a town that continues to try to show that, we're willing to give anybody an opportunity, regardless of their race, gender, or religion. So, quick reminder, I know Council President mentioned it earlier, school number 1 this weekend is at 8:30 to 3 p.m. We're having a color run. It's at 720 Northwood Avenue. And the money will be used to raise scholarships, money for scholarships, sponsored by the Mayor's Youth Commission. My wife, Danny Orlean Armstead, is working very hard to make sure that we continue to raise money for our children. And I'd like to just quickly, while I have the mic here, I heard earlier this evening, Councilman Mohammed mentioned the repairs done at the 4th Ward Park with regard to the bathrooms. And I know that we have Jerry Bishop, who's overseeing some of these projects. Jerry, could you just give me a little brief insight on what's going on there?
Yes, Mayor. As you're well aware, Councilman Mohammed has been vigilant in his request for upgrades to the bathrooms at 4th Ward Park. I guess it's over 2.5 years because they haven't been touched in decades. So we finally made the budgetary commitment to go ahead and get that done. And basically, picture having walked into a cinder block cave, which is what they were. And now there's brand new walls being put up, a waterproof sheetrock, gutted all of the piping, brand new copper pipes going in, new drop ceilings, new toilets, new sinks, you name it. We've come into the 21st century. And it's not the only park that needs it. As you know, you've seen some substantial upgrades to Wilson Park and 4th Ward Park in general, but those bathrooms were a thorn in Councilman Mohammed's side, and we went ahead and got them taken care of. I would say we're probably at the 65-yard line with completion of those bathrooms. I know my phone will be ringing a lot less often from Councilman Mohammed because we're getting that done.
Well, thank you, Jerry. And as my council person in the 10th Ward mentioned, Ramadan is winding down. I want to wish everyone I guess, Ramadan Mubarak. And hopefully we'll all get together in a couple of days and celebrate that holiday as we celebrate all holidays here in Linden as it comes to a conclusion. And that ends my report, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor Armstead. Okay, before we move on to resolutions, I just want to remind the public, some of you are new faces here, we have a sign-in sheet in the front here on the table. If anyone wants to speak during our public comment section, please come and sign in. Okay? All right, we're moving on to resolutions. Okay, we have resolutions 2023 177 through 2023 204. Okay.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to pass resolutions 2023-177 through resolutions 2023-204 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to ordinances for introduction, beginning with ordinance 6730, please.
An ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 16, entitled Parking of Trucks, Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-16, Parking of Trucks shall be, and the same is hereby amended in part as follows. 7-16, Parking of Trucks and Trailers. 7-16.1, Prohibited. D, notwithstanding the provisions of this section, truck parking shall be prohibited at all times on Lower Road, north and south side, from Tremley Point Road to the Rahway City border and West 20th Street.
Okay, could we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6730, please?
Council President, I move ordinance 6730 for introduction, and I request a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Abstain.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed? Yes. Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Hudak? Yes. Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6731. Can we have a motion to have it removed for introduction?
Council President, could I make a motion to table, we don't have to, to remove 67-31, ask for a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed? Yes. Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6731, please.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15th, 1995, and approved August 16th, 1995, adopting salary schedule 4RR2.
Okay, could we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6732, please?
Yes, Council President, I will move ordinance 6732 for introduction and request a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed? Yes. Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments. I will pull these up. Okay, that's not to exceed 3 minutes, please. Okay, we'll begin with Craig Halloran.
Yeah, my name is Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place. First of all, I have to say, may Mr. Mack rest in peace. He will be missed. I do enjoy going to my meetings in town. I will be missing some in the future. I have other business that I have to attend to. But the one thing I noticed between the zoning, the planning, and the council meetings or whatever is that different people I never see represented are the fire department, the police department, the public utilities, even people that are, I know that city owns our sewer and storm sewer lines. The storm sewer lines are not the issue at this point. The issue may be, do we need to increase the size of the sewer pipes? The water company has been doing a great job moving and enlarging water pipes in town. But with all this development and redevelopment, I noticed that we're going with, near the railroad tracks, we're going with taller buildings, and unless my mathematics is wrong, a ladder truck for the fire department with a 100-foot ladder on it, if it's not in the right position or can't get in the right position, a 100-foot ladder may not get to the top floor of some of these newer buildings they're putting up. And that I think that maybe for, in the future, some of these, agencies, it may be even the sewage authority may be invited or should be invited to these meetings to have their input put in. Plus I like to thank our public workers, everybody, including the people up here at the meeting today, for the fine work that we do. And I'm also looking forward to going through my copy of the budget when I get one and passing along my comments to the council, the finance committee, and Mrs. Zach and the mayor. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Halloran. Okay, next we have Samantha Olbrus, I believe. sorry about that. Okay. Can you just state your name and address for the record?
What?
Can you state your name and address for the record,
Yes,
please?
my name is Samantha Olbreeze. It's my first time being up here, so excuse my shakiness. My name is Samantha Olbreeze, and I'm 21 years old. I'm sure as soon as you heard my last name, at least one or two people in the room are familiar with it. With that being said, my grandpa was born into the city in the year 1929. Throughout his life, he lived on the same street, which was West Blanky, which so happens to be the street I live on now. I've traveled all around the country and can stand here confidently and tell you that there's no place like Linden and no place I'd rather call home. I want to start this by saying I, for one, was born and raised in this small city, and I've spent a lot of my life from what I know as the Quick Check Plaza, or that's what my friends called it in high school. From being 3 months old in a baby seat with my dad walking into Quick Check to get his morning coffee, to being 6 years old after my Linden PAO baseball games and going to Big Blue Sub Shop to getting the Salerno, to being 21 now, going with my dad weekly to our barber Frank and getting our hair cut together. This plaza has instilled what to me Linden is all about, and that is community. My family has been in this city for about a century now, and growing up throughout the city has always been a centerfold for the strong family dynamic, Friday night lights, and the small businesses owned for generations that make up the foundation of Linden. I am not getting up here because I don't agree with new housing opportunities for new families to come and build the foundation like my family has, but let me ask you when enough is enough. This community used to be a core value of what Linden stood for, and the lack of empathy for the Linden community brings the question, if we live in a community-oriented, fair place, why are the strong-minded concerns of the citizens not being heard and being pummeled over the same way that this plaza soon will be pummeled over? That brought so much joy, business, and community to me and a few people I know in our short lives this far. From watching my cousin, Detective Michael Olbreeze, win the state championship in 2006 with Linden High School, to making varsity softball myself as a freshman and proudly wearing those orange and black no matter what the score was, because I was proud to be a Tiger. Today, sitting in front of you all, I can say I'm still proud of being a Tiger, but disappointed into what Linden is becoming. When you strip a community of its values and plan on building as many apartment buildings as humanly possible, it begs to ask the question, is money seriously more important than Linden's livelihood and future endeavors? With the saying, big enough to lead, small enough to care, being Linden's motto, how come a community as big as ours, our needs are not being heard, received, and understood? These are not gigantic needs that we need met, no, but the consequences going through a project as massive as this one, and the plan to destruct our small city, to become an urban fiasco filled with crime, no parking, and loads of traffic the city already cannot control. I myself hope to one day bring my future children back to Linden to show them my childhood. With the way things are looking right now, there will be no Linden to show them, because there will be no more of the landmarks, places, and families that have built this city before I was ever even born into being a resident. I am proud to be a Linden resident, and I am so proud I was raised in a place that is so diverse, cultured, and inclusive. I always know that this place is home, but now as I drive around in my car doing the same routes I've been doing my entire life, I cannot even recognize the city, and that needs to change. With that being said, thank you so much for hearing me, and I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you for your comments. You did very well. Thank you. Hey, Ed Kaminsky?
Good afternoon, or good evening. Very nice job there. Kind of encapsulates some of the things.
Could you just state your address?
I'm
for the
sorry,
record,
Ed
please?
Kaminsky, Maple Avenue.
Thank you.
Just want to encapsulate basically the spirit there, and really what a lot of this goes back to is quality of life. Just an example, I live on the corner of Price and Maple, one of the busiest neighborhood intersections, and we have a bus stop. I don't know whether it's a legal one or an impromptu one, but it's been there a year and a half, 2 years, picking up kids. Many of the families or the people, when I see them being walked in the morning or being picked up, they live over here in these apartment buildings over here, all the way down there. Now, that's a very, very dangerous intersection in front of my house. Not only have the kids, I've seen get on my gate and, broken it, bent it, but also just leave trash every day. Actually, last thing when I quickly went home was pick up the trash there every day. But right up here where a lot of the people are coming from, right in front of the old Rafey's, the wig store now, there is a bus stop, which it's zoned for that. It's marked. It would be much safer and closer, quite frankly, for most of the people I see, and I don't know them. But please look into this, because it just doesn't make sense. And that intersection is, as you know, dangerous. And the bus has nowhere to go. It's in the middle of Maple Avenue. Quality of life. These houses, and someone brought up, I believe it was Mr. Frazier's old house on Wood Avenue. We have these monstrosities. Now, I don't know how you could build houses, not only take up every inch of property on 2 lots, okay? But there's the same thing going on with single lot houses. How's that happening? There has to be some kind of zoning variances, and I'm assuming it was done legally. If it's not, then, well, you guys got to be overlooking that. Things like filth, trees, barriers, in some of the, nicer wards like 9th and 1st and 2nd. Now, some of these streets, they look like Baghdad, with the barriers. And that goes back to enforcement, there's no gentle, you use the term before, gentle, and sometimes it's warranted, but at a certain point, you gotta penalize people for not doing the right thing. And helping Linden businesses, folks, I'm gonna plead again. We learned a hard lesson during COVID. Other cities, like we try to do the best they can. The difference is other towns put a process in place to help their businesses. Here, I talk to business owners, I'm friends with many of them, and just to get small things done, the red tape and the pushback from the town, I'll say, it's just been incredible. And that's what's gonna keep the gap growing between us and other near towns. The 7-story building, I heard it was 7 stories where the Quick Check is. We're short parking now, and the last plans I saw, you're actually taking over the New Jersey Transit lot, and there's gonna be less parking now. Same thing with the Price Street. Actually, Price Street developments, although they seem to be better built, there was a promise at one point here in the council meeting that there were gonna be access for public parking there. Where is it? I see my
Thank you
time
for
is
your
up. Thank you.
comments, Mr. Kaminsky. Okay, John Kazor? Please state your name and address again for the record, sir.
John Kaiser, 23 West Munsell Avenue. Samantha, that was an amazing, amazing speech. I love your youthful exuberance. So they tabled an ordinance amending redevelopment plan of Southwood Avenue. I can only imagine what that's going to be when I find out about it. So I don't know. I wore this suit to my father's funeral, picked it out, thought it was pretty nice. And walking through my neighborhood today, I got a sense that part of it's dying, so I felt it was apropos to wear that. The mayor and his builder buddy are coming through, and they're going to shove more apartments in my neighborhood. And I got a sense today. I was standing there, it was quiet, and I was overwhelmed with emotion just thinking about my 40 plus years in the neighborhood, and knowing how it's about to change in a way I've never, ever envisioned. I have to disagree with you, Mr. Javik, about the zoning and the planning board. I told them to their face 2 weeks ago that they're compromised, they have to vote the way of the mayor, or they're off of that board, because they're vendors with the city, and we all know how it goes. If you don't vote the way you're supposed to vote, you don't get the contracts that you're gonna get, all right? And I say the quiet part out loud all the time, and the one gentleman came up to me and he says, I don't appreciate, being told that my vote is bought for. And I said, he goes, we volunteer. No, you involuntarily volunteer, So it's so sad what's going on right now. 10 3-bedroom apartments crammed on my block. For people that don't know, it's between West Munsell and West Stimson. Everybody's walked from the train, that dirt road to get to the Wheeler Park, to get to the pool back in the day. And it's just, like Miss Samantha said, enough is enough. And I'm so proud of my 6th Ward neighbors who showed up. We showed up and we showed out at that zoning board. And I know how it goes too. They oversell so that we complain, and then they say, oh, well, we're going to concede and take this away, when that's probably originally what they want. I had a long talk with Mr. Orlando, who owns the property, who was there way before me, 30 years before me. I had a talk with him yesterday, a long talk, man to man, and he said, John, I'm just a guy trying to sell my property. And I said, I know that, man. You have every right for that. You have every right to go make that money. But I said, I'm disappointed in how you're going to leave our neighborhood. He says, we were selling bread out of that bakery that they're knocking down during the Depression. And I said, well, you're going to leave us depressed. The neighborhood is going to be so depressed. And he said, John, I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't believe how many of the neighbors showed up to the zoning board meeting. And I really hope you show up on May 1st when we go back, because their whole point is to get us to submit, get us to not show up to the next one, and then go ahead and pass through what they're going to do. He said, John, you know, we're thinking about moving from 10 to 9 units, and that's still not enough. I saw one of the members of the zoning board out in the public recently, and he said, you know, you're right, man. They should have done 6. And I said, well, say that, okay? But he's not allowed to, because they're all, as my
Mr.
father would
Kazar,
say
your
it,
time is up.
under the pump. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, could we have a motion to close the public comment portion of the meeting, please?
Council President, I make a motion to close the public portion. Ask for a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to comments from members of the governing body. Councilman Roman?
Thank you,
do
Council
have
President.
Anybody else?
I had the honor to be at that zoning board meeting that Mr. Kaiser was just mentioning, and the neighbors did show out. Actually, every single neighbor, essentially within 200 feet, did show up to the meeting. No one in the room, board members, professionals, hired people, thought that that was going to go through. There was never any chance of that going through and getting stuck in there, short of no one showing up and somehow them skating that through. And to be honest with you, when I brought it up to the mayor, he didn't even know about it. So that's the one thing that I spoke to you. I whispered in your ear, I said, no, you're going too far, blaming this on the mayor, because he actually didn't really know about it until I said something. And now all you're doing is pissing him off. He's going to pay attention to it now, and he's going to ram it down the neighborhood's throats just because you're pissing him off. All right? It's 9 townhouses too many, 8 townhouses too many, 6s are too many over there. 5 is probably too many at that point. What they should do is 4 two-family homes that is conjoined to the neighborhood, and they can still make their money, because that, if you talk to Mr. Orlando, is what he wants to do. He wants to retire with his big bag of gold at the end of the rainbow. However, John, that's not fair. You're not speaking fact. So stop just sitting here saying it's the mayor. The mayor didn't know about it, because I went to him about it. He didn't know what it was.
Okay, Councilman, your
And that's
time
why
is
he
up.
wasn't there. And that's why it went down.
Okay. Councilman Mohammed?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Linden Police Department. While I was away in Mexico, I got a call at about 3 o'clock in the morning about something that was happening in Linden. And it was 6 o'clock in Linden. I got called the police department, and the matter was taken care of. Secondly, I also, while I was in Mexico, got another call very early in the morning, answered the call, and it was a matter that was dealing with public works. And again, I called Mr. Bishop. Expeditiously, he performed. So I just think a lot of times while we're complaining, moaning, and groaning, the city departments that are operating, and there are council persons that are getting calls. I know I'm not the exception, and answer those calls wherever I am on the planet Earth. Whether I be at the hospital or not, I would take those calls. And Mr. Bishop, thank you. Captain Williams, please convey my best wishes to the police department. God bless America. God bless the police department.
Thank you.
God bless DPW.
Thank you, Councilman Mohammed. Councilwoman Caldwell.
I just want to say condolences to Dawn Viviano's family. I didn't say that earlier, and I just wanted to say happy Ramadan to all my friends and neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, Councilman Strano?
Yeah, thanks, Council President. I just want to offer my condolences for the people that you mentioned that had passed away. And I hope I don't miss anybody. If I do, it's not intentional, but my condolences go out to the Redding family for Mr. Mack and Dawn Viviano. Words about Billy Bulbous. Billy Bulbous worked with me in one of my positions in Union County, and I was shocked to read that he had passed away. we got along excellent during our time together in the county. But, and last but not least, Mrs. Riley, who is Surrogate Hudak's mother-in-law, who is a very dear lady, one of the kindest, sweetest people you ever want to meet, and she'd be sorely missed, and I just wanted to, mention her name publicly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Okay, before we close out the meeting, I just want to make mention also, a few of the council members had mentioned summer jobs. Each council person and the mayor and I will also have 2 positions for our summer help, or else it will be 4 positions, depending how we space them out. But please, if you have a student interested in working our summer help program, please contact your council person, mayor, or myself. The phone numbers are on the city website. So, we'll have more information next month on the program, when we will be starting and stuff, so. And before we meet the next month, it will be Mother's Day, so on behalf of the mayor and the council, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Wish all our grandmas happy Mother's Day as well, aunts. So please take care of your moms. All right, the next council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, May 15th at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, May 16th at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall. Council meeting Tuesday, May 16th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. These meetings will be held in person. Can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Hudak?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Yamakaitis?
Yes.